The film begins in the city of Osaka in Japan, and there, 3 members of the Yakuza gang are sitting in front of the gang leader, and there are 3 knives placed in front of them, and the boss is ready to finish them off because they disobeyed his orders, but he decides to give them another chance and tells them that if they cut off a finger, they will live. So 2 of them do it and are given a new lease on life, but the 3rd one cannot do it. That's why the boss finishes him off, and then he gives orders to the 2 he spared to travel to a small city in America called Normal. 3 weeks later, the scene shifts to the city of Normal, and we see a man named Alice leaving the hotel and getting into a police car with an officer named Mike. We learn that Alice has moved to the city to take on the position of interim police chief after the sudden death of the police chief named Anthony. And like any small town, the place seems almost deserted because the population is small. Besides, the residents themselves are nice people. We learn that Alice will stay in the town for only 2 months until the town elects a new police chief. And Alice's goal is to leave the city exactly as he entered it. On the way to the police station, a sign on the side of the road catches his attention, and the sign says that the residents voluntarily raised more than $16 million to build a new city council building. And that's a very huge and unusual number for the size of the city. As soon as Alice arrives at the police station, he finds a man standing and upset. Here, Alice introduces himself and says that he is the temporary police chief. The man complains to him that his neighbor parks his car in front of his house entrance. At this point, Blaine, the deputy police chief, intervenes to try to calm the man down. And then he talks to Alice and asks him to take care of the police chief badge. This is because Blaine intends to run for that position and is sure he will win. Alice smiles, leaves him, and enters the police chief's office. He spends his time sorting through the papers and documents in the office. Alice learns then that Anthony died from a heart attack due to extreme cold and hypothermia. After that, Alice is surprised as soon as he sees the police station's weapon storage. This is because the storage contains enough weapons to arm an entire battalion. Then Sally, the storage manager, comes in, and in response to Alice's questions and inquiries, she doesn't have a clear answer. All she knows is that Anthony was the one who was continuously collecting these weapons. And the storage has remained in this state since then. Here, Alice tries to reassure himself and decides to just go with the flow and focus on his work. Then he enters a restaurant in the city and finds the walls covered with old rifles. At that time, the restaurant owner tells him that his grandfather used to collect these rifles from the days of the World War. So, Alice ignores the matter and orders his meal. The next day, Alice wakes up from sleep in a panic. And that's because he always has a strange dream when he sleeps. Then Mike comes and takes Alice and they go to a hardware store. There, they break up a fight between the store owner and a local resident. And when things calm down, Alice notices a cabinet locked with many locks. And when he asks the shop owner about what's inside, the man tells him that these are tools for uprooting tree roots. Before Alice can inquire further, the owner of the next shop comes and pulls him to her store. This woman had requested pink threads but was sold purple ones. Alice can't tell the difference because he is colorblind. But he notices that this woman has a police radio device in the shop, so she tells him that it's an old device she managed to fix and uses it as a radio, nothing more. Then Alice goes to Anthony's funeral at the mayor's house. Inside the house, Alice meets the doctor who signed Anthony's death certificate. The doctor tells him that Blaine found Anthony frozen in a place near the beach. At that moment, the mayor of the city, whose name is Kepner, approaches them. And he asks Alice about his opinion of their small town. He hints to him during the conversation that he could become the permanent chief of police for the town and tells him that he will like life in the town, advising him to consider the offer and respond. After that, Alice hears a loud noise outside the house. And when he looks out the window, he sees Blaine standing and talking to his daughter, preventing her from entering the house. Mike tells Alice that this is Alex, Anthony's daughter. At night, Alice goes to the restaurant. There, he meets Nadil. The girl named Mira invites him for a drink, and they sit and talk about their lives. At that time, Ulysses tells her that he is just an ordinary police officer. He says that he married the girl he loved since high school and was proud of himself and his life with her. Until one day a girl came to him whose father was a very well-known man in the country. She was complaining to him about her father and what he was doing to her, but Ulysses did not believe her and ignored her words. After a while, he found out that there was a problem happening at that girl's house. As soon as he got there, he found the girl standing in front of her father with a gun in her hand. At that moment, Ulysses asked her to put the gun down, but she shot her father and killed him. Then she pointed the gun at Ulysses and cursed him because he didn't believe her. Ulysses says that he and the girl shot at each other at the same time, but Ulysses was faster than the girl and finished her off. Since that day, he has felt guilty and this memory doesn't leave him. What's even harder is that his wife left him because of what happened. He is still trying to call her, but she doesn't answer him at all. After Ulysses finishes talking, Mira sympathizes with him and comforts him with a few words. The next day, Ulysses sees a girl named Lori who is hitting a vending machine. And that's because the meal goes stuck inside the machine and wouldn't come down, so Ulysses approaches to help her. It becomes clear then that this girl is a thief trying to steal the food. Nevertheless, Ulysses pretends not to notice and helps her get the meal. At the same time, Laurie's friend named Kid is standing nearby. When